Drivin Ivan here, and behind me is a Porsche 911 997.2 to be exact, and it's a 2009 Carrera 4S. Kind of similar to my Carrera 4 Cabriolet, which is a 996. So, is the 997 that much better than the 996? And will I be impressed? Let's find out. Well, in terms of the shape, clearly a 911, and to me, that's a great thing. It's iconic. So here's where the big difference lies between the 996 and the 997. Here you have these beautiful, very Porsche 911-like round headlights. And it's the fried egg headlights on the 996. They look like a runny egg and they come around that way. Basically, from here forward, the 996 is a Boxster. So it got a bad rap for many Porsche enthusiasts. And they certainly got it right for the 997 here. It looks great. So the Carrera 4S here is a wide body car, and it has this bar coming across here to make you know that it's a Carrera 4. And it's kind of cool. So some subtle upgrades from the 997.1, the first version, and really just adding to, I think, what is a classic and timeless shape, and as I said before, definitely iconic. The Carrera 4S looks good top up or top down. The 997's interior is a huge leap forward from the 996's. So this is the major difference between the 996 and the 997. A glove box, which you did not have on the 996 first version. And so this is a huge, huge improvement. And then right here, check this out. That's right, a cup holder too, actually. And the 996 didn't have that. It just had a little tray underneath here, and it was kind of ridiculous, actually. I can't believe they released the car to America like that. But, you know, it's a Porsche, and it's all about the driving. Speaking of which, this one, of course, a 6-speed manual transmission. Very nice. And an infotainment screen as well. Even a sport mode, which is cool. More on that later. And the familiar 911 crest. Of course, the Grand Prix start key on the left-hand side. Those familiar Porsche gauges up front. The big tachometer and speedometer, of course, and all of your oil level, pressure, and all that sort of thing that you'd expect from a 911. And pretty much everything you need and nothing you don't. And this one even has the Sport Corona. Cool. Another luxury are the heated and ventilated seats. Nice. The niceties continue here. You've got USB, iPod, aux inputs, something you did not have on the 996, and little storage trays everywhere. You actually have the power window controls here on the 996, so the fact that they're gone gives you nice storage here. And then over here you get your power windows on the door, so a much better design. It's still a pocket in the door like you have in the 996, which you have to have in like my 911 SC back in the 80s, 82. Check out all of my Porsche interviews elsewhere on YouTube. Just Google Drivin Ivan and your favorite Porsche, like my 928, and you will find it. So there you have it, a much more refined and luxurious interior in this 997, and still the familiar things that make you love the Porsche 911, like the back seats, which fold down and make it a 2+2, sort of. Of course, the trunk in the front of the 911 here, similar to the 996, with the battery back here, and also a decent amount of storage for a weekend getaway. Ah, yes. Rear engine powering this 997.2 Carrera 4S 2009 is a 385 horsepower 6-cylinder engine, of course, 0 to 60, about 4.2 seconds, and you can also expect 310 pound-feet of torque at 4,400 RPMs. The 385 horsepower comes at 6,500 RPMs. There is an optional 7-speed automatic. This one has, of course, the 6-speed manual. Top speed is 185 miles per hour, 2 miles per hour quicker than if you have the automatic, so that's good. You can expect fuel economy of about 20 miles per gallon overall, and this one has definitely much more horsepower than the 996. Mine has 300 horsepower. Of course, this is the 4S, so it even has about 30 or 40 more than just the standard Carrera 4. All right, so 997. Well, I kind of feel at home. It's not too dissimilar from the 996, being that it's a modern Porsche, but it just feels more refined. It's more comfortable. The seat's a little bit tighter, I'd say, and it's just a newer car, so it feels newer. It feels more modern in a way. And they fixed many of the things that were wrong with the 996 with this one. And even the 997.1, this being the second version, they've gone through and refined the shape a bit and made some improvements. And you can feel that. This is really probably the car that you want if you like nice luxury things in your car, like infotainment screens, heated and ventilated seats, and basically some creature comforts, but you still want this. That kick in your back of your seat speed and the power of that engine straight behind you, the rear engine 911. Just a total legend of a car and so much history starting from 1965. I even got to review a Porsche 356 very recently. Check out my review of that one. Great cars, but sometimes I don't get why the older 911s are actually worth more. I do get it because I have a air-cooled 82, and that to me is just the sweet spot. But I've driven 912s and 911Es and the like, and to me, these newer cars, even the 80s cars being much quicker, is just makes the drive very, very special and exciting, because you really want to feel the speed, and you do, and you certainly feel it in this 2009 Carrera 4S, which has the 385 horsepower. That's a lot of power, and you know, even if you're in the middle of the red band like I am right now at 3,500 RPMs, if you punch it, you feel it instantaneously. And I'm not even in sport mode. Let's see what happens if I click it into sport mode. Throttle response becomes a little extra, and man, you just hear that beautiful Porsche 911 wail from that 6 behind you. And with the all-wheel drive, the grip is just amazing. It's a beautiful sunny day today, but if it weren't, you could feel just as confident, because that all-wheel drive just grips and just gets you where you want to go so easily and effortlessly. Basically, you just point the wheels and you take off. Beautiful view over the front hood of the 911. Those twin round headlights sticking up, and just a little hint of the shape of the 911. It's more pronounced in the earlier cars, the Carreras and 911 SCs and the like, but still that family resemblance just makes it oh so special. Nothing like looking over the head of the 911. And then when you brake, turn in and power out, the grip, like I was saying earlier, of this Carrera 4S is just absolutely insane. 0 to 60 in just over 4 seconds, 4.2 let's say. And yes, that power gets down instantaneously. So here's another definite plus with this 997.2 Carrera 4S Cabriolet. Here you go. You can put the top down while you're going up to 35 miles an hour. And let's check it out. Much better. In the 996, you have to have the parking brake on, and it's a pain in the ass, basically. But this one, look, true freedom. There you are. And so, you know, hey, a lot of Porsche purists are like, you don't want a convertible, this and that and the other. My friend whose car this is, Todd, he had a Targa 4S before this one, and that of course is probably a more pure car because of the Targa aspect, and it makes the frame a little stiffer. But you know, to me, if you're not tracking it all the time and you just want to enjoy your Porsche, I love convertibles. I've always loved convertibles, and I think the convertible Porsche is definitely an icon too. You know, the speedsters you used to see back in the days with people like James Dean driving them. It's just, I don't think you need to make excuses if your top goes down on your Porsche 911. And again, I'm a big fan of convertibles, and I love my Carrera 4. So, unless you track it all the time, let the sun shine in, for God's sakes. It's motoring al fresco, and that's great. The first time I drove a 911, it was probably an 86 Carrera Cabriolet, and I remember being impressed with the speed, of course. It was just an amazing car to me. This right here, the brakes, they're so amazing on the 911. And you know, from racing, just like the left-hand key for the Formula One Grand Prix start, if you can outbrake somebody, guess what? You can beat them around the track. And Porsche knows this, so their cars have great brakes, especially the 911. So what can you expect to pay for your 997 or 997.2 Carrera 4S in this case? Well, you're starting at about $25,000 for a high mileage, certainly probably some issues car from, I'd say, about 2005. And when you get on up to a car like this one, the special Carrera 4S Cabriolet, well, you're more into the 60, 75,000. You can go up from there. So basically from $25,000 to $75,000, you get yourself a 997. And yes, it is a much better car than the 996. The reason the 996 is certainly a great car in my eye, and I own one, is because, well, you can get it in a lower price and still get most of the performance and most of the feel. But this is a lot better. The 997.2, and in this case the Carrera 4S, with all of its creature comforts, the convertible top, and pretty much everything you want in a car, much less a Porsche 911 with the speed aspect, is there. It's just a beautiful all-around sports car. I think if you look up sports car, the 911 should be smiling back at you. And certainly this 997.2 2009 Carrera 4S is certainly, to me, the quintessential sports car. And there you have it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Check out all of my other car reviews. Just Google Drivin Ivan in your favorite car. And of course, check out my disc golf videos, music videos, literal video for Chris Isaac's Wicked Game, and my documentaries as well. I'm Drivin Ivan.